guys, the fate of Vintage Collection and my collection is hanging in the balance because the new MSRP for TVC is going to be $19.99. I think that's my cutoff, man. I don't think I can justify it. So, a lot of these remakes, a lot of these updates and upgrades, I'm not going to be buying anymore. I'm A-okay with my 2006 Saga Collection Hammerhead. I don't need a $25 deluxe one just because he can bend his elbows now. I think I'm good because he's just going to be in the background of my cantina anyway. Whatever. However, I really wanted an update for the main A New Hope hero cast because this is my core of the original trilogy. A New Hope is my favorite original Star Wars movie. I don't think it's the best Star Wars movie. I think that's objectively Empire Strikes Back. I think that's an objective fact that that's like the best Star Wars movie. But hey, when it comes to the originals, A New Hope is the one that gives me the warm fuzzies every time I rewatch it. It brings me back to when I was a kid. It makes me so happy. It brings me back to the Lego Star Wars game, to, collecting action figures. Oh my gosh. And I'm so happy. We already have the Luke and we already have the Leia updated, but now we've got the rest of the main cast that are not the droids. I think we still need a new C-3PO. I'd probably chuck $20 at that, at least if he's super nice and shiny. But hey, we've got Han, we've got Chewie, and we've got Ben Kenobi. Very hyped about these. We also have a straggler. Say hello to IG-12. So, I played the long game on IG-12. I played the long game because I was not paying $25 for a figure that has no right to cost $25. That is not a deluxe. No. You are not telling me that those little things cost that much extra money. That ridiculous. Get out of here. I got it on clearance for $10. So, I think $10 is pretty reasonable. I also just really liked IG-12 in Season 3. It was probably one of my favorite little parts. But the main reason I wanted it was, the droid is ready! I needed an Anzellan. I wish it was Babu Frick specifically, but I needed an Anzellan in my life. I needed one. That's essentially the main reason I bought this. If it didn't come with him, I wouldn't have gotten it. I don't think I even would have gotten it. So, hey, let's go ahead, start opening these up, start taking a look. We're going to look at the card backs first, and then we'll, just look at the figures as they're opened. I think I kind of like that a little bit better. First up, we've got Han Solo, Greatest Fighter. I miss that whole, 2016 era of YouTube. If you know what I'm referencing, that's incredible, but also it's so sad what happened to all of that. Anyways, Han Solo. My first impression, the figure itself is looking great. The face sculpt, still not 100% Harrison Ford. Still not. I don't know if they will ever do it. But hey, at least the card's really nice. It's that classic A New Hope card with the weird art of Luke and Leia on it. And that's a very nice classic image of Han. Still really miss the TVC card back where it actually showed either the first version of the character or the cross-sell of all the other characters you could get. Just having a picture of the toy you're already buying just kind of... What's the point? It's right there. Give me a little bit of history or show me the other stuff that I could get. Yeah, I don't really understand that. But hey, this is a very nice looking card back. Definitely a fan of that one. Next up, we've got Chewie. It is my life's goal to one day be able to do a Chewbacca impression. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but one day. One thing I want to mention and talk about, because I don't know if I will ever have the chance to talk about it in a video. Have you guys seen the Home Depot Holiday Chewbacca animatronic? Look at this thing. It's life-sized. It looks incredible. And he moves and he roars. And it's only $300. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of tempted to get it. But what would I do with a life-size Chewbacca? Anyways, I had to mention that. I had to bring that up. This figure looks incredible, and I think he's going to be the winner for me. I have been wanting a new Chewbacca mold in my collection for a long time. I enjoy the older Chewbaccas, but I don't know. I always felt like there's something just kind of lacking. And this one, it seems like it's delivering the goods. Seems like it has a lot going on, and I'm very happy about that. Super iconic image on the side there. That's Chewie right there. Again, same kind of style of card back. And the same back where, you know, it has a little bio and it has a picture of the figure. Next up, we've got Ben Kenobi, who I am not going to lie, I kind of low-key forgot to order. I did not pre-order this figure at all. And when I was preparing for this video, I'm like, crap, I need Ben Kenobi. So I went on Amazon and I ordered him. Unfortunately, mine came with this weird little, like, scrape out of the side. That kind of sucks. But I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi finally has a new figure, and wow, he actually looks like Alec Guinness, finally. I feel like all of the other 3 3/4-inch Obi-Wan Kenobis just never looked like Alec Guinness, at least not until now. Yeah, this one's looking fantastic. I love the yellow lightsaber on the card back. That is incredible, as always. Is it the lightsaber, though? I mean, it looks like it is. It looks like it's supposed to be, but maybe it's just like some weird illusion, and it's not. Again, on the back, you can see the figure, a little bit of a bio, everything going on with Ben Kenobi. And last and least, if it wasn't for Babu Frick's cousin, we have IG-12 Grogu and Anzo. And it's a 3-pack, guys. That's why it was $25. It's a 3-pack. Shut up. Yeah. These guys are just so tiny, so minuscule. Hasbro's just ridiculous nowadays. But this is a fun-looking figure. Like, I thought IG-12 was a really fun concept in the show. It didn't last for super long, but hey, it's kind of cute to have Grogu with, like, a weird mech suit. I feel like he was kind of a little too good at piloting it as well for being a literal child. I don't know. I don't know. Very odd plot line. And I'm surprised they didn't market this as well as, or as much as I feel like they could have. Like, I didn't see, like, any, you know, IG-12, like, walking, talking toy. Because everything Grogu related has a million toys. I'm surprised that they didn't do something like this. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't the Hot Toys one actually say yes and no? Like, doesn't the Hot Toys one actually have an audio chip? That's a lot of fun. If this had a little voice box, so it would go yes and no, it would be worth $25. But I would have bought it instantly. But they don't do that for toys anymore. I mean, they haven't done that in, you know, 3 3/4 inch in a long time. Not since, like, the R2-D2 where you could press the button and he would just scream at the top of his lungs. But yep, there is IG-12, Grogu, and the Anzellan. Let me go ahead, open these guys up, and let's take a look at them outside the box. And if you're wondering how I slice open vintage collection figures, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to show you once again. I do it every single time. Take a hobby knife, poke it into the side, keep it flat against the card, and slice it all the way down. Kind of have to saw it a little bit at the corners because it gets a little thicker. And then once we get to the bottom here, there is emptiness right down here. So once you get to the empty spot, you're in the clear. Like you can see, it's just empty down there. And then around the top, we're going to find our cut again, and we're going to carefully slice it through. Oh, you're cutting towards yourself. Don't do that. This is a hobby knife. I know what I'm doing. So carefully do it. Make sure you don't have, like, the edge of the knife, like, scraping against the card. You can see I accidentally did it just a little bit right there. I don't know if you can see that little bit of, like, line reflecting. But yeah, just be careful. Kind of lift it up just a wee little bit. Meet it again at the corner. Slightly inch it down. Give it a clean slice. And we are almost there. Voila! You have successfully cut your TVC card back where it is nice and preserved. Alright, so I got all 4 figures opened up. And first impressions, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super overwhelmed with any of these in particular. But hey, it's very nice to have some updates of very, very core A New Hope characters. So let's just go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at Han Saller. He's feeling like a star, he can't stop his shine. He's loving Cloud City, his head's in the sky. I can't believe I just did that. Yeah, this Han is looking pretty nice. Again, I'm not really seeing Harrison Ford too much in this head sculpt. I don't know if it's just like too much hair going on or what, but they have just never been able to get Mark Hamill or Harrison Ford's likeness 100%. It actually does have like the scar printed onto the chin, which is very interesting. I mean, I can tell it's Han Solo, like I can see the character here, but it's just not 100%. And I don't think they've ever gotten it. And at this rate, I don't think they ever will. But the figure itself, I mean, it's a New Hope Han. You can see the costume. He's got the vest with all the little pouches. His belt looks very nice with a lot of little printed detailing. He's got the red striping down his blue pants. He's got his little gun. I forget the name of it. DL-44. I don't remember. But I've always loved Han Solo's gun, especially in the original Battlefront 2. It is so overpowered. It's such an awesome little pistol. And yeah, he can go in the holster. And there it is. There's Han Solo. His articulation is pretty standard for Vintage Collection. He's got that ball joint at the head. He's got the standard joints. Oh, it's kind of clicky. I don't really like the feeling of those elbows. Yeah, he's got like really clicky elbow swivels. And see, when figures like this are clicky, it's literally like the peg slightly twisting before the click. And I don't like the feeling of that. He's got hinges and swivels at the wrists. This wrist is thankfully up and down, which is very appreciated. He's got a really nice ball joint at the waist. Like, that's pretty nice. And you can kind of tell they've made it better because it's kind of like a little recessed. That's kind of how they've been doing these ball joints recently. His hips are pretty standard ball joints. He's got thigh swivels. He's got the standard hinge and swivel at the knee. And then his ankles are standard hinge and swivel. So he's got that standard Vintage Collection articulation we've come to know and expect. He has the standard likeness of classic A New Hope characters we've come to know and expect, as in it's like 85% there, but you can still tell that it's a toy and it's not like a little miniature version of the actor. This is no like Balin Skull or anything. It's not that great of a likeness. Because like a lot of the newer characters, like the Rosario Dawson likenesses are incredible. They've done a lot of great stuff. And this is good. But it's not on that level. Good old Chewie. I'm not gonna lie, this figure is very, very nice. And it's refreshing to have a new Chewbacca figure after all this time. Like, I love Chewbacca figures. I have a lot of them. But just having a new one is just very refreshing for my collection. So refreshing, in fact, that an ambulance is coming to check in on him and make sure he's okay. Gotta love living on a busy street, huh? Yeah, this Chewie is very nice. But I do have to say, he doesn't feel that different than all the other Chewbaccas I've got. Now, granted, I love Chewbacca figures. I think they're always a lot of fun, and they're always very big. And thankfully, they don't make Chewbacca figures deluxe, because I think people would riot if they would put Chewbacca as a deluxe price point, because he's never been deluxe. Because think about it, back in the day, you paid the same price for your Chewies and your Vaders as you did your Yodas and your Ewoks. That was the balance. That's how everything worked out. But nowadays, if something is just slightly bigger, it's deluxe. But if something's slightly smaller, it's not like there's a smaller price point. That's how they get you. But yeah, I mean, it's sad that the golden years of Star Wars collecting are over. But it's nice that after all this time, we are still getting these nice updates. And hey, it's still around. They're still making good figures. Like this Chewie is really, really good. The likeness is incredible for A New Hope Chewbacca. I would say my only complaint, I feel like the mouth should be a little bit darker inside that mouth. Maybe a little bit darker around the eyes as well, but the eyes do look really nice. Overall, this is a very fantastic figure. His articulation, he has a ball joint at the head. I wonder if it's like a double ball joint. Can I pop it off? Can I pop it off? No, it's just like one singular ball joint. So he's got a ball joint at the head, which actually gets you a decent amount of swivel considering like all the fur and everything. Standard hinges at the elbows and the shoulders. He has swivels at the wrist. Does he have a hinge? No, he's just got swivels at the wrists. So I feel like the waist up is pretty much just the same old Chewie figures that we've known all this time. Like, especially like the torso, like all the ball joints and everything, that feels very similar. I think the upgrades really come at the waist because he's got ball hinged hips, or ball jointed hips, I should say, which is definitely an upgrade. He's got swivels at the thighs. He's got standard hinge swivels at the knees. Then his ankles are on hinges and rocker joints. So definitely appreciate at least the new articulation from the waist down. But from the waist up, it seems very standard classic Chewie. The gun is very nice. It's actually very good how you put in the bowcaster. You kind of have to flex some of the plastic to get it in there. But once you get it in there, like it's in there. It's not coming off. But it is a little wibbly. Definitely not the biggest fan of that. But he holds it really nice. His fingers are nice and soft, so you can kind of spread them open if you want them, you know, dual-handed, single-handed. He definitely can wield the weapon very nicely. And with all that new leg articulation, you're going to be able to get your Chewie into some pretty nice poses here. So overall, I would say this is probably my favorite figure out of all 4 of these, but it's not like super fantastic. it's not anything to write home about. I don't think any of these really are. Ben Kenobi. Gone are the days of having a super massive like wool cloak for your Ben Kenobi figures. Nowadays, it's actually pretty nicely stitched. I mean, the shaping and everything is really nice. It's definitely a good looking cloak. He has the same kind of standard lightsaber we've come to know, and he does have a hilt as well. I kind of like it when figures have these cloaks, because you can just kind of keep the hilt on the figure and just cover it with the cloak. He does have soft goods as well for his leg tunics, which is definitely appreciated, so you can get more articulation. One thing that's disappointing, though, about his soft goods is his hood. It's stitched to the back. It's stitched. Like, it's attached back there. Like, you can see it's attached right there. So you can't really get his hood up to try to give him his hood. And I'm tempted to cut it just to see how it would look. But at the same time, I feel like doing that might kind of ruin how all of this is folded over. And I'm not really worried about having him with his hood up. But it's still very disappointing that you can't even do that on this guy. That's pretty much the only negative with him. His likeness to Alec Guinness is actually really nice. But then again, bearded likenesses are a little bit easier to do because half the face is literally just hair, so a little bit easier to do those faces. It's still, I wouldn't say it's 100% there. I would say we're probably looking at like 90, 95. Definitely a better likeness than Han Solo, though. Let's go ahead and remove his cloak so we can take a look at his articulation a little bit better. So, come on out. Come on out. There we go. So his articulation, he has a double ball at the neck, so you can get a lot of nice range there. Standard joints at the shoulders and the elbows. I've always found it very interesting how like figures with cloaks for like their sleeves have these super thick joints at the elbows. Like it's such a big, thick joint. His wrists, they do actually seem to be on up and down hinges. Yeah. So he's got up and down hinges at the wrists, which is very nice for certain lightsaber poses. His waist is on a ball joint, and that is doing the flex clicking thing. Not a fan of that, because as I'm turning it, the plastic is bending instead of moving. That sucks. Not moving that anymore. He does have a lot of nice detail around the belt. He's got like this little pouch right here and everything. Moving the legs up, so we can go ahead and take a look at how this works. Standard ball joints at the hips, thigh swivel. He's got standard hinges and swivels at the knees. I do have to point out, though, the tan on the knees, that's painted. And you can tell, it actually looks really bad. Like, especially at the hinge, you can see like the brown plastic in between the hinge and the actual knee. That does not look good. That is not a good looking joint. And then his ankles are just on the standard hinges and rockers. So, hey, you can get your Ben Kenobi doing some flying kicks if you want. You can get him very acrobatic, but why would you do that? Why would you do that? And last and not least, we have the Anzellan. I'm calling it Babu Frick's cousin. I'm going to name him Bibu Funk. That's his name. So we got Bibu Funk, and we have his accessory, IG-12 with Grogu. So you can see he's kind of in a bit of a pickle right now. Bad baby! Bad baby! Let's go ahead and take him out, because this is the main event. Get this out of the way. We need to look at Bibu Funk. Look at this little guy. Look at this. It's literally like the size of my thumbnail. This is such a tiny little figure, but he's also like my new favorite figure in my entire collection. The Anzellans are the best thing to come out of the Rise of Skywalker. They are so funny. It's actually, it's refreshing when like a kid appeal, quirky, comedic relief character actually succeeds in what it's trying to do. It's not succeeding in sting and focus though. He does have a very nice little arm articulation, so he can, raise his little arms up and like run for his life when Grogu, oh, stop it! When Grogu's up to no good, he can kind of run away. Oh, you are giving me a hard time, bro. You're giving me a hard time. But yeah, Bibu Funk is looking very fantastic here. And while we are zoomed in this much, let's go ahead and take a look at this little Grogu. Now, I did look to try to make sure I got one with decent paint, but unfortunately, I don't think I looked good enough because this little Grogu, his eyes are painted just a little too far down. If you know Vintage Collection Grogus, this is no different. He's got little arm swivels. He's got a little head joint. This is nothing special, nothing to write home about. To get him in IG-12, you kind of have to like get his head in first, because his ears are a little too big. There's actually little like dedicated slots for his ears to slot in. So kind of just get him in there, and then this front panel will tab back in, and boom, there you go. You got your little Grogu inside IG-12. But we're just going to go ahead and take him out because we need the main man. We need the main pilot to be in here. Got to get Bibu Funk in here. Come on, Bibu Funk. Go ahead and pilot your new little droid. The droid is ready! Yeah, that's funny. I like that. I like that little guy. I do think I'm going to keep Grogu in here, though, because Bibu Funk needs to have his time to shine. Apparently, so does Obi-Wan Kenobi over there taking the focus. Stop it! I do think it's pretty funny how my camera never wants to focus in during Vintage Collection reviews because these figures are just so small and intricate. Especially like these thinner ones, like IG-12 here. He is such a thin figure. And especially like getting this guy in hand and just feeling how thin he is definitely validates my opinion that this was not worth $25. No freaking way. Not at all. I mean, this guy is stick thin. Like, there's so little plastic, and the engineering, like, it's no different than IG-11. It's no different. I'm sure a lot of this is reuse from IG-11. The only thing that's probably new is the torso. Oh, jeez. But yeah, his articulation, he's got, like, multiple swivels at his head, so he can, like, move his little eyes and everything. He has, like, swivels at the shoulders, but then he's got a ball joint at the shoulder as well for it to move outward. He does have that same ball joint that will allow for, like, a swivel side to side. He's got elbow joints that when I was initially bending them, like, all the plastic was flexing before these joints would give, which was definitely concerning. He's got little wrist swivels. I think he's got a little waist swivel right there. He does have universal hinges at the hips. Yeah, he's actually got hinges, not ball joints. He's got thigh swivels. He's got knees that bend, and he's got ankles that rock forward and back, and they also rotate side to side. So for an IG unit, it's pretty good articulation. Still, I just have to voice that complaint one more time. This was not worth the deluxe price, not in any world. So guys, there's another look at a new batch of Vintage Collection figures said and done, plus an IG-12 stowaway. So, honestly, this time around, there's not really any that are, like, really standing out to me. I'm not like, wow, this figure is amazing. Not like with Balin's Skull, stuff like that. This is, or Asajj Ventress, that's probably my favorite TVC figure in recent times. These are all just okay. You get what you pay for, you know what you're expecting. It's modern TVC. Definitely happy that these characters have gotten updates, but it's nothing special. It's just inevitable. Like, these figures needed upgrades. The old ones were getting so old that many of them were 20 years old. Like, Han Solo had not had a new TVC, A New Hope figure for 20 years. We're talking 20 years. Over 20 years, probably. So, yeah, definitely some of these were in desperate need of updates. But if you're perfectly fine with your originals, especially at these new prices, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Just don't even worry about it. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about these guys down in the comments below. Special shout out to channel members as always. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Have a great one guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.